Hello students, today I will explain you about the Fortin's barometer. It is a modified form of the simple barometer in which the shortcomings of the simple barometer have been removed. What were the shortcomings of the simple barometer? So that I am explaining here. In the simple barometer there was no covering to this glass tube. There was no covering to this glass tube. Therefore, there were the chances of, due to the air jerks, there were the chances of breaking of the glass tube. Number two, when the atmospheric pressure will change, then in that we have to make the zero adjustment so that the zero mark on this tube coincides with the free surface of the mercury level. When the atmospheric pressure will change, then what will happen? Either mercury will flow from tube to the trough or trough to the tube. If it is increasing, atmospheric pressure is increasing, then it will flow from trough to the tube. And when it will flow from trough to the tube, it will be something like this. Here, this is the trough containing the mercury, and this is the tube, and suppose at this moment it is the zero. This is the zero which is coinciding with the mercury level at this moment. At this moment it is coinciding with the mercury level in the trough. It's clear? And here it is filled up to here. What will be the barometer atmospheric pressure? It will be corresponding to this height. It will be corresponding to this height. It's clear? So directly you can read height from here because the zero mark on the tube, zero mark on this tube is coinciding with the free surface of mercury in the trough, and therefore you can directly record the pressure. But suppose what happens? The pressure is increasing, therefore barometric height will increase. Barometric height will increase means here there will be more mercury, there will be the flow of mercury from trough to the tube. When there will be the flow of mercury from trough to the tube, then this free surface of mercury will decrease. It will come down. Free surface of mercury will be this, while here mercury level will rise. Now zero is this and free surface is below to that. What will happen? Once again you have to immerse the tube inside so that this zero mark coincides with to the new level of mercury in the trough. It is clear? Similarly, suppose the pressure is decreasing, then mercury will flow out from tube to the trough. When mercury will flow out from tube to the trough, then the new level will be above to the original level. New level will be this. Now this will be the new level, while the zero is below to the new level. So once again you have to take this tube up so that zero coincides with the new level. It's clear? So that you have to make adjustment here. Then here it requires perfect horizontal arrangement. And in that process, there are the chances of spilling of the mercury. It is clear. So these defects have been removed in the Fortin's barometer. In the Fortin's barometer, here there is a covering, metal covering. It is this glass tube which covered with a metal tube, which is having a slit along its surface, in which a slit is cut along its surface. A slit has been cut along the surface so that this tube is visible. Number two, there is a provision for adjusting the zero level. There is a provision for adjusting the zero adjustment, so that is also there in this Fortin's barometer. Now see here, I am trying to draw a rough diagram of this. Here in the Fortin's barometer, here there is a metal bowl or metal cup. Here it is a cup which is having made up of metal, and here there is a provision for there is a screw. This screw can be turned, it can be moved up or down. It's clear here, this is a screw. This is the metal bowl, metal cup. It is a cup which is made up of metal, and here there is a screw which can be moved up or it can be moved down. This screw can be moved up or it can be moved down. Now here there is a leather cap. This cap is made up of leather. I am showing here. Here there is a cap which is made up of leather, which can be moved up or down. This is the cap. This is a leather cup, not cap. This is the leather cup. And here you can see this is a leather cup. It can be moved up or down. Its bottom is over this screw. And now see here, this leather cup is containing the mercury. Here it is containing the mercury. This is filled with mercury. Now this leather cup can be moved up or it can be moved down by turning this screw. By turning the screw, we can move this leather cup which is having the mercury up or down. And by this process, zero adjustment can be done. And how will you adjust the zero? That I will show you in the afterwards in the diagram. Here you can see. Here you can see there is a cylinder, metal cylinder, which is having a slit along its curved surface. It's clear here, it is like this. This is the metal cylinder that I am trying from the scale. It is nearly 1 meter long. And here there will be a slit. Slit will be cut in this. Here slit I am not showing here. Slit will be cut here. It's clear, there will be a slit all along the curved surface, all along its length on the curved surface. Now see here, there is a ivory point. Ivory point, it is nothing, it is a pointed tip here. It is like this. It is a ivory point. And for the zero adjustment, the tip of this ivory point, this is ivory point. The tip of this ivory point should touch to the free surface of mercury in the leather cap. It's clear. When the mercury will move up or down, when it will come out from tube to the trough or move from trough to the tube, what will happen? There will be a separation in between the tip and mercury level, or this tip will be immersed inside the mercury level. Two things will take place. When mercury is flowing, first I will show the tube here. Here this is a cylindrical tube, cylindrical glass tube about 90 centimeter in length. It is just like the simple barometer. It is filled with mercury, and then its mouth is closed with the help of the thumb, and then it is immersed in this. Here it will be immersed in this. It's clear. When you will immerse it in this, what will happen? The mercury level will descend and it will come to rest at what height? Nearly 76 centimeter from the free surface of mercury in the trough. It is clear. So see here, now it's here, this is the mercury level. Its reading there will be a main scale as well as vernier scale. Here there will be a main scale graduated on this cylindrical tube, as well as there will be a vernier scale also. So see here, what will happen when the atmospheric pressure rises? Mercury will flow from this trough to tube. When mercury will flow from trough to the tube, what will happen? The zero will be here and mercury level will come down in the trough. So once again you can coincide here, zero level means the tip of this ivory is zero. Tip of this ivory point is zero. When the mercury level will descend, what will you do? By turning this screw, you will lift this leather cap up. You will lift this leather cap up, so that once again the mercury level in the trough coincides with the tip of the ivory point. It's clear? In case pressure drops, atmospheric pressure drops, then mercury will flow out from tube to the trough. When it will flow out from tube to the trough, then situation will be like this. Mercury level in the trough will be above, and the zero, which is the tip of the ivory point here, it will be below to the level. Means this tip will be now immersed inside the mercury. So how will you adjust? Now you will rotate this screw in the reverse direction, so that the leather cap comes down, and when the leather cap comes down, once again the level will coincide with the tip. It's clear? When the level coincides with the tip, you can record this level, this position, with the help of main scale, which is graduated here on the surface of this cylindrical tube, as well as there will be a circular vernier scale, as well as there will be a vernier scale. With the help of these two scales, you can record this position, and the difference of this and this will be the barometric height. So in this way we can record the atmospheric pressure or barometric height we can record. It is clear? It is shown here in the diagram. You can see here in your book, this diagram has been shown so that you can read. Now here air jerks will not make any effect in the vertical position of the tube. Number two, zero can be adjusted very simply, very easily we can adjust the zero. It's clear? Number three, there is no chances of contamination of impurities in this mercury. There are no chances of contamination because it is closed from all the sides. Therefore, there is no chance of contamination of mercury. It is clear? So this, and here we can hang it. This whole apparatus is hanged on a vertical wall, so that this remains vertical, and when it will remain vertical, so this bowl will remain horizontal and there will be no chance of spilling of the mercury. So all these defects, all the defects of the simple barometer have been removed in the Fortin's barometer. In the laboratory we use Fortin's barometer. It's clear? Now there is an aneroid barometer. Aneroid barometer, from the very name, from its name, it is clear that there is no mercury. Aneroid barometer, it is a barometer without using mercury. It is clear, but it is not as much sensitive as the Fortin's barometer. It's clear. That's why for the laboratory purpose we use only mercury barometer, that is the Fortin's barometer. Aneroid barometer. Here we make the use of levers for barometer. Now see here, in aneroid barometer there is no mercury. It has no has no liquid. It's clear? There will be no liquid. Now you can see here, in aneroid barometer we take a thick folded paper. and with the help of thick folded paper we will make a box like this. You can see here that we call the bellows. You can see here thick folded paper, and with the help of that thick folded paper we will make here a closed box. Here it is closed, it is like a box, it is clear, it is a thick folded paper. Now this can be compressed or it can be expanded. When there will be same pressure, it will be in this position. It is clear. So see here means the pressure which is inside as well as the atmospheric pressure, both are same. Therefore what will happen? It will remain in this way. Now here there is a vertical rod which is fixed with its top. It is fixed with its top here. Here this vertical rod is fixed here. And this vertical top end of this vertical rod is having the teeth. Top end of this vertical rod is having the teeth. It is clear. Then there is a circular wheel which is also having the teeth along its circumference. Circular wheel which is also having the teeth along its circumference. Here this is the circular wheel, and this is also having teeth along its circumference. So what will happen? These teeth will be interlocked. These teeth will be interlocked. These are the teeth. This. Now there is a pointer which is attached with this. With the center of this circular wheel, there is a pointer which is attached with this, and this pointer moves over a scale. Here it is moving over a semicircular scale which is graduated in terms of the mercury, length of mercury column. Here at this moment it is coinciding to 76 centimeter of. This is 77, 78, 79. Here in this side it is 75, 74, 73, like this. Now see here, it is graduated in such a way that in the normal condition this pointer coincides with the 76. Now when the pressure will increase, so what will happen? Inside this air has been enclosed at atmospheric pressure. Inside this air has been enclosed at atmospheric pressure means corresponding to 76 centimeter of mercury. It is clear. It exerts, the air which is enclosed inside this exerts as much pressure as exerted by this, which we call as the atmospheric pressure. Now suppose the pressure becomes more than atmospheric pressure. Then what will happen? From outside direction there will be greater pressure, while from here there will be the pressure less. So what will happen? It will compress. When it will compress, this vertical down rod which is fixed with its top, it will also move down. The vertical rod which is fixed with the top of this bellows. Bellows means it is a box which is made by folded thick paper. It's clear. So when the pressure will increase, it becomes more than 76 centimeter of mercury column. What will happen? This box which is made up of bellows, it will compress. When it will compress, then this rod which is attached with the top of this will move down. When it will move down, then it will rotate to this circular wheel. And when this circular wheel will be rotated, what will happen to the pointer? Pointer will also be rotated. Will also be rotated, and we will get the new value of atmospheric pressure. Suppose when the pressure drops, when the pressure becomes less than the normal atmospheric pressure, which is 76 centimeter of mercury, then pressure becomes less than this. Here there is a 74, means this pressure is less, and the pressure which is acting from inside in the outward direction, pressure which is acting from inside in the outward direction, this pressure is more, this is less, therefore this box will expand. When it will expand, then what will happen? Rod will move up. Rod is moving up, therefore pointer will now rotate in this direction. Pointer rotating in this direction, there not pointer rotating. When rod will move up, then this circular wheel will rotate in this direction. And when circular wheel will rotate in this direction, this pointer will move in this direction, and we will get the new value of pressure. So here this barometer, it is free, it is not using mercury. It's clear. This is called we call it as a aneroid barometer. The barometer which has no liquid, it is the light and portable, while the Fortin's barometer is not portable. It's clear. Light and portable, and therefore it can be easily carried from one place to another. It is calibrated to read directly the atmospheric pressure. It needs no prior adjustment like Fortin's barometer. So this I have told, this I have explained here. Now what are the usage of barometer? That you can see: to measure the atmospheric pressure at a place, then for weather forecasting, then as an altimeter to measure the height. Altimeter to measure the height. Then you can see here variation of atmospheric pressure with altitude. As you know that as you go above and above in the hills, variation of atmospheric pressure with altitude. Altitude of any place is measured from the sea level. Sea level has been assumed 0. And the height of every place is expressed in terms of the height from sea level. Means that place is at how much height from the sea level. If you want to know at what height your place is located from the sea level, so you go at the railway station. In railway station, at every platform you will get a you can say that board. In that board it is written that stone is there, that stone board. On that board it is written that place is this much height from the sea level. So as we know that as we go above to the sea level, then barometric height, atmospheric pressure decreases. And why this decreases? Why atmospheric pressure decreases on going above to the sea level? On going hills, why atmospheric pressure is decreasing? What is the reason behind this? So number one reason is the air column. As you move up and up, as you go up and up, the height of air column above you will become less. Height of air column above you will become less. That is the value of H will decrease. As well as the air will become rarer. Air will become rarer means its density will also decrease. So when height of the air column on you is decreasing, as well as density of air is decreasing, so what will happen to the atmospheric pressure at the greater heights? It will decrease. So atmospheric pressure decreases on going above to the sea level. For example, if you go from plains to the hills, atmospheric pressure at the hills will be less, while at the plains it will be more. And why? Because plains are situated at low sea, at less altitude, while the hills are situated at high altitude. So the atmospheric pressure decreases with altitude mainly due to the following two factors that you can see here. Number one, decrease in height of air column, decrease in height of air column, which causes the linear decrease in atmospheric pressure. And why linear decrease? Because P is directly proportional to H. Then decrease in density of air, decrease in density of air, which causes a non-linear decrease, non-linear decrease in atmospheric pressure. And why density causes non-linear change? You can say that pressure is also directly proportional to density, but the variation of density do not take place at a fixed rate, do not take place at a fixed rate that I am showing you here from the diagram. There are three places A, B, C. It's clear. Here suppose the density of air is, I have taken some arbitrary value, and here these places are at 10 kilometer height. In between A and B, what is the gap? 10 kilometer. These B and C are also at the same gap. It is clear. If you assume that the density at air is 100, density at air is 100 kilogram per meter cube. At B, it will become less because the air has become rarer on moving up. It has become 90. What will be at C? At C, it will not be 80. Though there is the same gap of 10 kilometer, but at C, it will not be 80. It will decrease more. It will suppose becomes 70. Means here at the 10 kilometer density decreases by 10. And here at the 10 kilometer density decreases by 20. Means the density is non-linearly changing. Therefore, the decrease in density of air causes a non-linear decrease in atmospheric pressure, while the decrease in height of air column causes a linear decrease in the atmospheric pressure. Now see here, if we draw a graph of here atmospheric pressure, variation in atmospheric pressure with height from the above the sea level. Here this graph has been drawn. So the graph will be like this. What is the atmospheric pressure at the sea level? At the sea level, it is assumed 76 centimeter of mercury column. At sea level, atmospheric pressure is equivalent to 76 centimeter of mercury. Now here we have divided the height from the sea level in 6 kilometers. 0, then it is 6, 12, 18, 24 kilometer, 30 kilometer above to the sea level, 36 kilometer. And here it is 76 centimeter of mercury, then 75, then 74, then 73, then 72, then 71, and here you have taken 70. It is clear. Now see here, if you draw the graph, then here graph will be something like this. It is not correctly drawn. I am drawing it by another pen. This is clear. Here it is the curve. So you can see here, as you move above to the sea level, atmospheric pressure is decreasing. Atmospheric pressure is decreasing in a non-linear way, not linearly. If linearly it will decrease, then there will be a straight line graph. So curved graph is showing that atmospheric pressure decreases non-linearly. It's clear. So you can see here, The atmospheric pressure can be considered to consist of number of parallel air layers. Each layer experiences a pressure on it due to the thrust of the air above to it. Therefore, as we go up, the height of air column above us decreases, and since height of air column above us is decreasing, therefore atmospheric pressure will also decrease. Since the lower air layers are compressed, upper air layers are experiencing less thrust, therefore they will not be compressed. So at the lower altitude, at the low altitude means near the sea level, there will be more density of air. But while you move away from the sea level, what will happen? Density of air will decrease. Therefore, there will be a decrease of pressure on going above to the Earth's surface. So, figure 4.22, this diagram shows the variation of pressure that already I have told. Then here some consequences are given. At high altitude, since the atmospheric pressure is less, breathing becomes difficult and nose bleeding may occur. Why? Because the blood pressure is same, but the atmospheric pressure has decreased. So sometimes nose bleeding may also occur. It's clear? So that you can read from the book. Then weather forecast by the use of barometer. How will you record the weather forecast? How will you know about the weather forecast with change in atmospheric pressure? Due to the change in atmospheric pressure, how will you come to know about the weather? So see here, if the barometric height at a place suddenly falls, if the barometric height at a place is suddenly falling, means the pressure is suddenly decreasing, then it means there is the coming of a storm or cyclone. At that place, there is the chances of coming of a storm or cyclone. If the instead of suddenly falling, it is gradually falling. It is decreasing, but not decreasing suddenly. It is gradually falling. Then it indicates that moisture is increasing. That is, there is the possibility of the rain. Similarly, if the reverse of this takes place, in place of gradually decreasing, if it is gradually increasing, then it means the moisture will become less, weather will become dry, dry air is more dense and moist air is less dense. That's why because of the sunlight, air becomes dry, and when air will become dry, so what will happen? Atmospheric pressure will increase. Similarly, at the time of the rain, the air will become moist, and when air will become moist, so what will happen? The atmospheric pressure will decrease. A sudden rise in barometric height means the flow of air from that place to other surrounding low pressure areas. So these are the weather forecast by the use of barometer. Now altimeter. This, with the help of the barometer, we can determine the height of that place from the sea level. Height of that place from the sea level. An altimeter is an aneroid barometer. It is used in aircraft to measure its altitude, that at how much height they are flying. Since atmospheric pressure decreases with increase in height above the sea level, therefore a barometer which measures the atmospheric pressure can be used to determine the altitude of that place. In its scale is calibrated in terms of height of ascent with height increasing towards left, because the atmospheric pressure decreases with increase of height above the sea level. You can see here its scale is calibrated in terms of height of ascent with height increasing towards left, because the atmospheric pressure decreases with increase of height above the sea level. As you go above to the sea level, atmospheric pressure will decrease. So it is calibrated in this way. So now you read this. So in this way, the theory of this part has finished. It's clear. Now in the next lecture, we will do the numericals, the exercise of this chapter. So thank you.